All right, thanks for joining us. Your radio activist here, Mark Harrington, and I am joined by my good friend and colleague here at Created Equal, Molly Myer. Molly is one of our staff members, and she often goes out to the abortion centers and counsels mothers to try to talk them out of their abortions. That's what we do here as part of our ministry. Of course, you all know that we take our abortion victim photography to abortion centers, but also to college and high school campuses. But one of our focuses is the abortion centers. Why? Because we are commanded in Scripture to rescue those being led away to death. So that's where we know that the babies are dying at the clinics. That's where we go because we're commanded to go. And so, as it's a difficult ministry, it's hard sometimes because 99% of those people go right in the doors and kill their babies. And so I wanted to bring Molly on. I've been wanting to do this for a while, just do a little a show on sidewalk counseling, if you will, what that means. I've talked about it briefly, never really had an in-depth program dealing with it, and I kind of want to do that today. And so, Molly, thanks for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So here we go. What we're going to do here to assist our discussion is we're going to play a video of an individual, and his name was Tay. And this was at the Planned Parenthood a couple of weeks ago, where Molly and I were standing there reaching out to parents as they go inside considering abortion. And Tay came over and spoke with us a couple of times. And what's instructive about this video is a couple of things. First of all, he came over, which they don't often. Most don't. He spent a lot of time with us. He went inside, I think, twice and came back out and spoke with us as well. And what so often is the case, and which is really frustrating about sidewalk counseling, is that you can tell them everything in the world that you know about how to not kill your baby. And sometimes they just choose to do it, and sometimes they don't. But I thought this would be instructive for us to kind of unpack our conversation with Tay. Molly and I talking to him over about a 12-minute period of time as he went in and out of the Planned Parenthood. So we're going to go ahead and play this clip, and we'll interrupt it along the way, and we'll make some comments. I think that will have hopefully some kind of value and instructive value to those who might be involved in sidewalk counseling. So, and to give those who aren't a picture, kind of a snapshot of what it's like to be out front of a Planned Parenthood. So again, this is Tay at Planned Parenthood here in Columbus a couple of weeks ago. Go ahead and start the clip.
Sir, come on here, sir.
You have the freedom to talk to me if you want.
Yeah, you don't.
Just have some resources for you.
Don't go inside. Don't listen to that guy.
Okay.
How you doing, sir? Good.
Is she here for an abortion today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know she can get free help across the street? Yeah, they'll provide resources. She can get a free ultrasound, see her baby before she makes this decision.
I know this this our second time. Can we have already paid to even get looked at? So.
Okay, so today is for the abortion.
Go ahead and stop it there. So a couple things real quick. First of all, the so-called security guard is working actively to get people into the abortion mill. And I told him, don't listen to that guy. He did come over. And then I just want to, and what you did is typical, right? Of how you would approach somebody who comes over to you on the sidewalk, and you offered them resources. Is that what you do every time?
Yeah, we always try to get people to come over to us. That's our first school, to have a conversation, see why they're there. Because most of the women are there for an abortion, but they do have a consultation. So just getting to have a conversation with them and hear their side from it.
Which is hard sometimes because they generally know what we're going to tell them, which is don't kill your baby. And yet he came over, which is very unusual. So when you call out to somebody, what do you typically say? Like he got out of the door, his door of his car. What do you normally say and what you said there?
Yeah, so since he was a man, I had a little bit of a different approach. I tried to just ask why he's there. Also, see if the person he brought was already inside, and tell him about resources for her, how he can help her, because you don't always know, but some of these guys think that they're doing the best for the woman they bring. And so by telling them the truth about what abortion will do, not only to their child, but also to the woman, is very important. And just, having that conversation with them.
Yeah, and so often I'll speak to the men. I don't usually speak to the women. I let our young females speak to the women. I think that makes the most sense. But because he came over, I felt that I could. So, all right. So go ahead and continue on. Again, this is Tay, right? Tay at Planned Parenthood a couple weeks ago. Go ahead.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Are you?
Wasn't like she's not really my girlfriend.
Did you get her pregnant?
Huh?
Did you get her pregnant?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, you're a father. You know that, right?
Go ahead and
What
stop
about
there.
that?
This is important. This is really important. He said it's too late, and he had already paid for it. Your response was, it's not too late.
Yeah.
How is it not too late?
Because if the baby's not already being killed, if she's not in the operation room, there's still hope. There's still time for him to go inside and encourage her to come out. So that's what I was trying to encourage him to do, is recognize that this baby's still living. There's still time.
Right. As long as the abortion has not taken place, it's never too late for the baby to be saved. He may say it's too late because he's paid. He just doesn't want to back out at this point. He feels like he's gone too far, which tells us something. When people come to the abortion clinic or facility, because it's not a clinic, they have made up their minds pretty much. I mean, they've already processed this for maybe a week or longer, could be even longer than that. And they've come to this conclusion because they've either been pressured or all those things. So when they get here, they're hardcore. I mean, generally, not always. And so when he's already paid, he doesn't want to mess with it. But he says it's too late. It's not. And we continue to work with the guy regardless of whether he thought it was late or not. And I asked if it was his girlfriend. I asked if he was the father. And he said yes. And so go ahead and continue on.
Put that child in there. That's your child.
Ain't the right time.
What's that?
It ain't the right time right now.
Now you say
Let me
she's
stop
not your
there.
girlfriend?
I said he was a father. Now, some people wouldn't do what I just did. I said, you're a father. You're either going to be a father of a live baby or a father of a dead baby. And I said, you will just be a father of a dead baby. I don't think some people would go as far as I did. I just generally speak very boldly and straightforwardly to the men, because men are generally, they should be anyway, wired to protect women and children. And I wanted to appeal to his conscience as a guy, as a man who generally defends women and children, to go in and protect that child because he is the father. I wanted to get it in his mind that child, that baby is a child. I mean, that baby's a baby and he's a father and he needs to know it, in hopes that you are appealing to that manhood inside him, that he might go in and do the right thing. Because I don't think he's thinking he's a father. He's just thinking, oh, whatever, the baby's not a baby, a blob of tissue, whatever, let's just go get rid of it. So that's why I did what I did. And some people wouldn't go as far as I did, but I feel like you only have a few minutes here. If that, you better give them the best shot you got. Go ahead and continue on.
She's not your girlfriend? Or there's another girl you're with too, or?
I was just happy for her.
Yeah. It's not too late, brother. You're going to think about this the rest of your life. You know what's going on with an abortion, don't you?
Killing the baby.
That's right. You don't do
Stop
that,
there.
do you?
Stop there. My suspicion, he probably has multiple partners. This isn't just, maybe not even his girlfriend. It might have been a one-night stand. Who knows? Obviously, he didn't think it was very important that he would, keep the child. And that he said it was a girlfriend, but he really didn't mean it. But he admitted that he's killing a baby, right? I mean, he understood that intuitively. And so when you get to that point, it's really difficult because now they've crossed over where they're saying, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to kill the baby anyway. Go ahead and continue on.
I mean, there's families that would adopt that child.
Yeah, I know families who would.
And what's her thoughts? If you told her you didn't want that baby to be killed, would she keep the baby, you think? If you said, huh? Probably.
If I say, yeah, I think. I don't really know. I don't really know.
Does she want
Yeah,
the
stop
abortion?
there. This is really important. What does that tell us?
That he has a say in this.
Yeah, that it's not just a women's issue. And if men, stepped up to the plate and told her, in this case, went in and said, I don't want to have this. I'll stand with you. We'll parent the child together, or we'll work together to place that child for adoption. Most, not maybe not all, but most would say, I'm in. So to say that this is a women's issue and men don't have a say, this is a perfect example where they're given a free pass, sadly. And so, anyway, go ahead and continue on. I just think that's instructive that if he were to go in, he said, if he were to do the right thing and tell her not to kill the baby, she probably wouldn't do it. Go ahead.
Does she want the abortion or do you want it?
Yeah, she be both good. It's not just like unfortunate or anything like that.
It's not too late to do the right thing. Even give it a little more time. Think about it. Seriously.
Alright,
Because
I'm gonna come back out here.
Would you?
all right,
You
bro.
see what we're trying to do? Stop there. Just go ahead.
She can get an ultrasound.
She's probably already gotten it. She's already gotten the ultrasound.
I
Probably.
need to see it.
Now, you see what we're doing here. What are we trying to do?
Pull him back
Why?
so that we can continue having a conversation, because most people who go inside aren't going to come back.
Most won't come back out, so we want to keep him on the sidewalk with us.
Yeah.
And we're also, in a sense, we're kind of stalling. To be honest, the more time we try to provide for us to speak to him, the more time between him and the final decision, the more likely he might change his mind. Now, you mentioned an ultrasound. Explain why, you thought that maybe he had already had it, or she did. Why you thought that?
Well, we know that she had a consultation, so they probably would have given her an ultrasound, but it's unlikely that she actually would have seen that baby. We know that most women who do see their child decide against abortion. Mm-hmm. So bringing them to the Pregnancy Resource Center and getting them to get an ultrasound is going to be more likely that they would keep their baby.
Now, I said he probably already had it. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know about that. But still in the state of Ohio, there is a 24-hour wait period. It's not been stricken from the books yet, even though issue 1 passed in November. It's still a requirement that they have a 24-hour wait period between first consultation, then the abortion. So they already had the consultation, and you're saying you think it's possible that she didn't have the ultrasound. Anyway, the idea is here you're trying to give him options, things that he could do, she could do, short of killing the baby, to buy more time in order for them to reconsider. All right, continue on. So here we have Tay coming back out from Planned Parenthood, which is really unusual for someone to come back out after speaking to us once. So he's conflicted. Obviously, he wouldn't come back.
I ain't changed my decision. I ain't gonna lie.
Does it bother you that that's killing a baby?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it should.
It bothers him a little bit.
I mean,
Stop
she
there.
was
It bothers
able
him
to-
a little bit, but not enough.
Mhm.
That's crazy to me. I just like, okay, you know what you're doing. It doesn't bother you enough. You're going to go kill the baby. Go ahead and continue on.
The baby's here? No.
I see you got a fish and a cross on your car.
Oh yeah.
Is that your car?
Yeah. Well, we really just got it. My mom's car though, but what that
So
fish
it's just-
mean though? I never really.
It means it's a signal. It's a symbol for Jesus.
Okay.
Is your mother a Christian?
I mean, we all consider ourselves Christians, but not church-wise though. Not church-wise.
You know, God said, "Thou shalt not murder." He said, "Thou shalt not murder."
Right.
You know, you're violating that today. How's that make you feel?
Not good.
Stop there. You see what I'm trying to do. Anything, any sign of Christianity that someone might have, I appeal to them based on that. Because if they say they're Christian, now he said he's just driving his mother's car, of course. But I wanted to appeal to them and say, well, basically, if you're a Christian, do you know what you're doing? Do you often do that? Do you bring religion into this?
Yeah, I guess depending on the situation with him, I would have just pointed out that this is going against the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he didn't even know what the fish and the cross meant. So if he was churched, he wasn't churched very well, and his mother didn't bring him up too well. But when I said that abortion's murder and what you're doing today is murder, he kind of agreed. This is where it gets really shocking, friends, that he's willing to murder. He knows it's murder, and he's okay with that. Go ahead and continue on.
But it's already happened.
Right now, she already
Had it
has a
happened, though?
room for
Stop
that.
there. Had the abortion happened?
As far as we know.
Probably not. So it's not too late still, even now. Go ahead and continue on.
Room for that.
It's already
So
paid.
it's not too late.
It's already paid. And it's not the right time right now.
We can refund you for that. Did you know that?
It's not the right time right now.
We can, whatever money you paid, we can give you that money back.
But it still ain't the right time.
Like, we're not
Well, when
telling you
is
you
the
have to
right
father
time?
that
Stop
baby.
there. Yeah, stop there. This is really important. It's not the right time to do what? Which is it? To be a father. That's what he's saying. But it was okay. It was the right time to have sex with someone he probably doesn't even know that well. That's the kind of culture we've gotten. We're turning out. So anyway, continue on.
Baby.
Huh?
We're not telling you you have to father that baby. If you don't want to take care of that child,
Come
my
on,
own family would adopt your baby.
being a
Okay?
deadbeat, come on now.
Yeah, you don't have to be a dad. If you don't want to, you can't kill that baby though.
You're always going to be a dad. You are a dad. You know that? Right now, you're a dad.
So y'all trying to make me feel bad.
No, we're just trying to tell you the truth.
I'm listening.
You are a dad. You're a father right now. You're just going to be a father of a dead baby if you let this go through. You got to live with that the rest of your life,
Not
bro.
the right time. God knows it's not the right time right now.
Stop there. This is really interesting. He said, God knows it's not the right time. Well, God knows it's not the right time. When is a good time? Well, you get someone pregnant, it's the right time to be a father. Trying to appeal to his conscience, you can tell he's very vexed by the whole thing. Unfortunately, making the wrong choice so far. You have any other thoughts as to what was going on there?
Yeah, I was just going to say he's trying to justify it in his mind by pointing to God because he sees that we're Christians, but he's not willing to take responsibility for his actions.
Yep. Go ahead and continue.
Well, it's not the right time, then why are you sleeping with women? Why are you sleeping with women if it's not the
I
right
just
time?
told myself I'm not sleeping with no women unless I want to have a kid. I just told myself that like 2 days ago. I already understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the interesting thing. What's he saying here? Do you remember?
He won't make the mistake again.
Which is what mistake, though?
Sleeping with someone he doesn't love.
Oh, I
That's
don't
what he
think so.
said.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
He said what again?
He said that he didn't love her earlier, and so next time he sleeps with someone, it's going to be someone he loves, so that he can raise a baby with her.
Which, if he ends up doing, of course, he should marry her beforehand. But that would be a good step in the right direction. But he doesn't need to go through this in order to learn that. But at least he's, the thing is not. I'm thinking to myself, I'm listening to this guy. I'm thinking he'll be right back here if he doesn't change his attitude. Because generally, if you think sex outside of marriage is okay, you're going to rationalize it and you're going to continue. He may end up in the same place again, unfortunately. So go ahead and continue on.
He's paying the price for what you did, though. Realize that? You're killing an innocent baby for something they didn't do.
You're right.
They don't have a choice. They don't know that it's the wrong time, right? They didn't have a choice in that.
So what are you trying to do there?
Trying to humanize the baby to show him that this baby shouldn't have to pay the penalty for what he did.
Which let me ask you about that, because a lot of sidewalk counselors are saying, the last thing you want to talk about is the baby, because sometimes they're not thinking about the baby; they're thinking about themselves only. And some people in sidewalk counseling think that you ought to only talk about the mother and how it's going to harm her. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I definitely think we should be talking about the mother and the effects that this can have on her. But ultimately, the reason it's wrong is because it's killing a baby, not that it's going to harm the mother emotionally or physically or spiritually. The problem is that it's intentionally killing babies. I also think it's important to appeal to this guy's manhood and show him that this is his child who he should be protecting.
Right. All right, continue on.
So she won't change her mind. Are you trying to change her mind, or are you just...
I'm just cool. I'm just neutral.
This is what abortion does. That's what abortion does. See those babies?
So,
I know it's all sad, and I know it's wrong for them, but it gotta happen.
If it's wrong, it doesn't have to happen, because there are people who would help you. Okay, we would help you with whatever you guys are going through, whatever you need. Why don't you think you guys are ready right now?
It's really...
Here, let's stop before we get there. Why did you show him the abortion picture?
Because I think everyone has the right to know what's happening in an abortion, and he should know before he makes that decision. And I think he should be allowed to make that decision, but as long as he is, he should know what's happening.
Yeah. And there are others who say that you shouldn't use victim photography at the abortion clinics because it only offends, angers, and drives people into the clinic. What is your experience?
Obviously, we do have people who get upset over that, but we also meet people regularly who say that if they had seen the children killed by abortion, if they had seen what abortion does to a baby, they wouldn't have chosen that. We also know that we can't reach every woman who's coming in and out. And so just them seeing that photo, if they're there for consultation, if they haven't yet killed their child, by seeing that could change their mind and save children.
Right. And you got to keep in mind, although you don't see it in the video, we have signs that are displayed around the Planned Parenthood on the sidewalks showing prenatal development photos and abortion pictures. You just happen to show it to him personally. You see his reaction? He wasn't like angered and offensive. He didn't say, "Oh, you guys are, right-wing zealots," and run inside the building. He took it in. He understood what he was doing. Go ahead and continue on.
First off, it's her friends. On the second off, I don't think she got her legal papers yet in the mail to be here.
So she's not supposed to be here legally. Is that what you mean? Okay. Yeah. We can still help her.
I don't know how her and her family work. I don't think her family know about this.
Yeah.
probably not.
Well, it's hard, but that still doesn't mean that she should kill her child, right?
Right.
It's just crazy. You're right. Now, more than likely, this young lady is an illegal alien, not in the country legally. The family is here. Family probably doesn't know anything that's going on here. And he keeps saying, "You're right, you're right, you're right," and yet he's going through with it. That's what's so frustrating about this. And we could have a story of a baby that was saved, and we have those of women that we speak to that change their minds, and that happens on the sidewalks. But more often, it's more like this, where you'll be able to speak to them, and they end up deciding to go in anyway. And the reason why we're playing this is just to let people know what it's like to be outside of one of these abortion centers, and the level of understanding that this young man has about what he's exactly doing, and yet he's going to go in and do it anyway with his girlfriend. Go ahead and continue on.
So you should go in and say, "I'll help you. I'll give you what you need to take care of this baby. We will stand alongside her. We'll support her for as long as she needs help, okay? Killing her baby, doing this to her baby, we don't want her to have to live with that for the rest of her life, right? You don't want to live with this, knowing that you drove her here to kill her baby."
Yeah, I'm sad to say, but I ain't changing my mind.
All right, stop here. Tell me what you're doing there.
I'm still trying to appeal to the humanity of his child, but also point to the fact that this is going to hurt him and the woman, by showing that he's not going to be able to take back what he's done. He's going to have to live with this, and we shouldn't. make this choice.
And he obviously is not thinking about that at all. I mean, he's thinking about, let's get this done and over with, and I'll go on with my life, and I won't be affected by this. Wrong. I mean, he will, and he just doesn't care. He figures he'll deal with it later. And that's the problem. They don't really understand the impact that this is going to have on their lives. Obviously, they've killed the baby, so they're a murderer, but also now they've got to live with the guilt. So go ahead and continue on. And that's what you're appealing to them now.
I can't tell. It's already too late. Like,
No, it's not too late. We already said we can refund you. If she has not gone, if they have not yet used the tools to kill that baby, it's not too late. You can still go inside and save her.
If you went in and said, I don't want you to kill the baby today, would she walk out with you? If you said, I'm going to do the right thing and stand by you and this child.
that'd be a lie though.
Why?
I ain't gonna be there through the 9 whole months. I know I'm not.
Why not?
I know.
There you go. There you go. Stop there. He said that would be a lie. In other words, he has no intention of standing with that child and with her and fathering the child or placing the baby for adoption. And that's the issue. It's all about him. He's just thinking about right now, how do I get out of this situation? Not thinking about the future, not thinking about the baby, not thinking about her at all. And that's why, I mean, we keep appealing, using some of the same arguments to try to get him to think, but he's just like, I'm done. So go ahead and continue.
We'll tell her we will.
Why not? Why not?
She
Why
don't
not?
want no support. She probably want support from me, but I ain't gonna be able to give it to her. I already know.
How do you know? Why can't you do that?
I don't know. I'm
We
18. I be an actor with her. I'm in Columbus.
People do hard
Good,
things,
stop
you know.
there. What is wrong with this generation of men? That's exemplified in this young man.
Yeah, he wants to live however he wants to live without bearing the consequences for that. He wants to sleep around and create babies and kill them without having to provide for anyone.
Exactly. And we've raised up a generation that think that's okay. Abortion's an option for them. They can get off the hook, spend a couple $100, and they're out the door, leaving her behind. He'll probably never see her again. And that's the problem. We're not calling them to a higher standard. And he can get away with this the rest of his life. Unfortunately, we've created a culture that enables this type of behavior for young men. Go ahead and continue on.
You know,
Right.
people do hard things.
Right.
That's what
You're right. You're right. That's what drives me nuts.
That's what takes character. It takes character to do hard things. And people live through it too. And they're better off for it. They look back and say, I did the right thing. It was hard, but I did the right thing. And they don't regret it. Because they did it right.
This is my last time ever here.
You're gonna regret what you did.
I am gonna regret it. I am.
It'll haunt you your whole life.
Probably will.
And you don't
You have a choice in that. You don't have to have it.
you don't have to have it haunt you.
Yeah. True.
This is a baby whose mom I got in contact with and I helped her. She had 4 other children. We were able to help her get a house. We were able to provide her with whatever resources she needs. This is her baby now.
I'm talking about emotional support. I'm not talking about financially.
What kind of support?
Emotional. I ain't gonna be
Emotional,
there for her.
yeah.
I ain't gonna be there.
We can be there for her.
Stop there. That was really good that you brought that out. Now was that a baby that you guys helped save at the clinic there? Why did you do that?
Because I've found it helpful before to point people to other real people who've gone through similar situations like them, have considered abortion, but have chosen life. And I think it's helpful for them to see a real life example of that. And so that's why I showed him the baby, just to show him that this could be your baby.
Yeah, and the sky didn't fall, and their lives aren't ended, and their lives aren't ruined. And people can do hard things, and he doesn't want to do hard things. He wants to do easy things. He wants out of this, and he'll kill a baby to do it. That's what's so frustrating about it. Very little we could do right now to appeal to him. It's really unusual that he's still standing there, to be honest with you, at this point. He's just like, he's already made his mind up, yet he still wants to speak to us, which tells me he still has that little bit of conscience in him, says, maybe I'll find a reason out of this. Go ahead. Continue on.
That's not right.
Why is that not right?
It ain't
It's
me.
better to kill that baby?
No.
Do you realize that's the side you're taking? You're taking the side to kill an innocent baby.
Mm-hmm. He knows that. That's the sad part.
You're a dad. You're responsible for that child. Okay? You're supposed to take responsibility for your actions. Okay? You helped create that baby by standing back and saying, kill your child, I'm not going to help you. That's very
But I'm
selfish.
telling
That's
you,
very
but
wrong.
if she said I wanted to keep it from the jump, and we never got to this point, she was cool with it, and I'm cool with it. So what?
So you're cool with killing a baby?
Yeah. That's what you want me to say? Yes.
No, I don't want
You
you to
is.
say
You
that.
keep on asking me, keep on saying that. You want me to say that?
No, I want you to say I don't want to kill a
I
baby,
don't
and I'll
wanna
do
kill a
whatever I can to stop that from happening.
I'll be lying.
That's really sad.
Huh?
That's
See,
really
here's the
sad.
thing. He acts like he's powerless. Is he?
No, and he even admitted earlier that if he had gone inside and stood up for the baby, she probably would have chosen not to get an abortion.
So he's not powerless. He just acts like he is, and he's making excuses for his behavior. Go ahead and continue on.
It's really sad.
It is, but it's sad because how y'all try to make it seem. It's sad in general, but you know how many people have abortions a day? You know how many people that had multiple abortions? The same person? Come on now.
Well, I don't think we're making you feel a particular way. You know it's not right. In your heart, right?
You right, but y'all keep on
In
repeating
your
it.
heart, you didn't need us to tell you.
Don't repeat it. You right.
It's in your heart, man. We have a conscience.
So stop there for a second. Is it you've been at the abortion centers for a long time. Is it your belief that most of the people that go inside know what they're doing?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, they know they may be misled to a degree or pressured and all those things, but they're not really victims. I mean, many of them, this boy, he knows exactly what's going on. She probably does too. And we get this idea that they're victims. They're not victims. Most of them are not. They know exactly what they're doing. He knows. He says, we're making him feel guilty. The point I made is no, your conscience is the one that's making you feel that way. You didn't need us standing here. If we weren't even there that day, he might have felt just as guilty as he is right now. Go ahead and continue on. I mean, he's almost waiting for us to come up with something that gets him off. To find a way out that makes sense, but he just can't come up with it. And honestly, what else is there other than us going inside and kidnapping the girl or whatever? There's really little that we can do at this point. Go ahead and continue on.
So the only reason you want her to have this abortion is because you
Now, what are you saying there? I can't hear it.
I don't even remember.
All right.
She got stuff too, though. How you know she ready?
How do I know she's ready?
Yeah, she done.
Well, you know what? There are a lot of families who have organ children.
We're still appealing with him, even at this point, in hopes that he'll change his mind.
This was accidental. We was having protected sex. I don't know. This was accidental. You act like I planned on saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a kid, then when she actually pregnant, I'm here trying to make her get an abortion. That's not how it is. That's not how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you respond to that?
Yeah. Well, I would say that's not the case. We don't know. I mean, he laid around, he was sleeping around with a woman and created a baby through that. I'm not saying that his intention was to get her pregnant. I don't think it was. But regardless of that, that doesn't justify killing the baby.
Mm-hmm. I mean, consent to sex is consent to pregnancy. Everybody knows this isn't rocket science. If you sleep with a woman, there's a possibility you're going to get pregnant, even if you're using birth control. So we know that that's a possibility. So consent to sex is consent to pregnancy. But consent to pregnancy and getting someone pregnant is not necessarily you got to go have an abortion. So it's not on us. He's already he's a independent moral actor in this case. Go ahead and continue on.
We not in love. We not in love. Be cool. I mean, I ain't gonna say. I mean, yeah, we cool. Yeah, I can't say, but no, yeah. I don't know.
The fact that you're not.
We're not in love, right? We're not in love, which is the problem. Not only are they not in love, they're not married. Go ahead and continue.
That doesn't change the fact that that's still happening. shouldn't have slept with her if you're not in love with her, if you're not ready to have a child.
That's how I am. That's how I am.
You don't have to be that way.
I've been that way. I don't have no. You have feelings for every girl you did it with? No.
Well, we all make mistakes.
You're right.
I don't sleep around. I mean,
Yeah, I know. But when you was young, this is my first year out of high school. When your first year,
I tell you this.
You wasn't in love, just doing
Let
it.
me say this.
You was just having
You
fun.
say you're not gonna do it again.
Well, no, I'm talking about abortion.
What's gonna stop you from getting a
I
woman
told
pregnant?
myself,
What's gonna
I
stop
ain't doing it
you?
unless I have a kid with her. So I'm pretty much saying I'm only doing it with love. I'm only having sex for love. Pretty much. Cause this is lame. I mean, it's lame. It is lame. It is. I ain't gonna lie, but it's life. I don't know. And I don't be trying to make it seem like that.
There he goes.
All right.
Well, sadly, he goes in and doesn't come back out until he comes out with her, and the abortion's been performed, baby's dead. And friends, this is a difficult situation. It may have been difficult to watch. It's kind of long, and the same questions being asked and answered over and over again. But we are just doing everything we can to try to plead with this young man to save the baby today and make the right decision. And unfortunately, he goes in anyway. But not for our lack of effort on our part. And he says he's not going to be here again. Maybe, hopefully, but without coming to grips with what he's doing, which is he, has sex with multiple women, which is unlikely to change. He kind of said, well, that's just what I do, and unfortunately, there are a lot of young men that do that and don't think about the consequences. So, well, Molly, do you have any parting words here? I mean, talk about this generally, and this is common, uncommon. I mean, just what you experience in front of the abortion centers.
Yeah, so this is a little more of a unique conversation. Normally they don't stay that long. But for anyone who's considering sidewalk counseling, I think this is very important work. We've got to be reaching those who are going into the clinic. We've got to be advocating for those babies. This is the last line of defense for those children. So I'd encourage everyone to go out, at least be praying out there, but also advocating for those children.
Right. And as you're listening, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I would have done this differently, or I would have said that. Listen, that happens. We're not going to speak perfectly, but we try to speak from the heart. We try to speak directly to the issue and to the person. Don't beat around the bush. You don't have a whole lot of time. This individual gave us almost 15 minutes, which is very unusual. But I wanted to give you an idea. Sometimes we face this, and the abortion centers are a very dark place. They're a desperate place. They're a sad place. And because of that, people don't want to come out and do what we do. I mean, who wants to sit through that and watch this guy go in and kill their baby? I mean, it's just very discouraging, very difficult. But somebody's got to do it, and we do it. And you can too, friends. You can go to createdequal.org. Let us know that you want to be part of our sidewalk counseling team. That is, if you're in Columbus, Ohio. And if you're not, we'll connect you with Sidewalk Advocates for Life or other groups around the country, depending on where you are. So you can go out and make a difference. Now, this individual did not save his baby, didn't do the right thing, had the abortion with his girlfriend. But we don't know where he'll go from here. We're going to continue to pray for Tay, that his life would change. We prayed this morning that his life would change, that he definitely would not end up here at the abortion center again, that he would begin to respect women, decide that he's going to only have sex within the confines of marriage, and find that woman that he can commit to for life. So thanks for tuning in. God bless you. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Mark Harrington, your radio activist. For more information on how to make a difference for the cause of life, liberty, and justice, go to createdequal.org. To follow Mark, go to markharringtonshow.com. Be sure to tune in next time for your marching orders in the culture war.